What's going on, guys? Dave Mate back for another discussion. Today we're talking about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. Now, if these words sound foreign to you, don't worry. 4 years ago, they sounded like another language to me as well. So today I kind of want to just talk about my personal thoughts on money, on the future of money, on the future of this entire connected web of financial technology. So first things first, I just want to state very clearly that I am not a financial advisor. Please do your own due diligence. Please do your own research. There's always the potential for loss and risk when you're dealing with businesses and startups and money and banks and digital technology. So with that said, I just want to talk about one of my passions, cryptocurrency, in particular, Bitcoin. Now, I'm sure that some of you guys have heard about this. Some of you haven't. Essentially, things are changing. The way that we use money is evolving. It's becoming more decentralized as each year passes. Now, first, let me just describe what I think money is. If I were to define money, I would say money is a social construct that's used in the exchange of goods and services. I'll say that again. Money is a social construct used in the exchange of goods and services. That's all that money is. This mate gourd where I'm enjoying my tea could be a form of money. If I give it to you and you give me something else, this is a form of exchange. You accepted the value of this gourd. I, in return, accepted the value of whatever it is you gave me. And that's it. That was the exchange. That's all money is. It's an exchange. At one point, the Indians in United States, or before the United States, they used seashells called wampum. At one point in the United States, we used gold. Gold was money. You know, that's how the banks got started in the United States. Somebody struck rich, found gold, had so much gold, and they started their own bank. Later on, we tethered the gold value to the dollar value, and the dollar was backed by gold for a long time, until the 1970s, when basically the United States government said, we can no longer support gold to back the United States dollar. We just don't have enough. You know, the hoax is over. So we are now declaring that the dollar does not need to be backed by gold, by physical gold bars anymore. And that turned into something totally different, where money just became an idea. And that's really, if you think about it, money has always just been an idea. I like to consider money as just an energy. It's an energetic form. It's just energy. It's just people agreeing to say that this thing, whatever it may be, whether it's digital currency, Bitcoin, or a cup, has value. As long as enough people agree that something has value, then you could create a monetary system around that value. Now, in most times, right now, we're using what we would call as fiat currency. Fiat currency means, technically the word fiat in Latin means let it be, let something be. But I like to describe this word as faith, fiat, having faith. So when you get a banknote, a United States dollar or any dollar from another country, you literally are putting your faith in that piece of paper, that piece of cotton. When you give it to somebody and you receive it, that's all that it is. It's not backed up by anything other than faith. So keep that in mind as this video progresses. Keep that in mind. All money is faith. Faith in something, some sort of vehicle, some sort of storage of value that is used in the exchange of goods and services. That's all that money is. And if you guys have questions while I'm making this video, feel free to type them in, those of you guys that are watching it on YouTube. And after I'm done discussing this, anybody can pop into this video, because it's live right now, to ask questions, no problem. Let me fill up my mate, Yerba Mate tea from circleofdrink.com. Powerful tea, gets your mind right, gets you feeling good. Great alternative to coffee. Just all around healthy tea. I drink it the most traditional way, out of a gourd and a bombisha. A bombisha is a metal straw with a filter, but you could just drink it like green tea or coffee out of a French press, infuser, what have you. All right, guys. So those of you that have been following me, you know that I'm all about technology, the internet, along with my tea company. Really love the internet, really love technology. Ever since I was a little kid, 12 years old, learning how to program on a computer just changed my life. So the first time I heard about Bitcoin was in 2014. One of my friends from Argentina told me about it. And technically I heard about it before then, but it wasn't until that day when he really pressed it upon me and said, Dave, out of all people I know, you got to be studying this. You have to be studying Bitcoin. You're a technologist. You understand finance. You understand business. You understand entrepreneurship, and you understand the future. You know, not to say that I do, but that's what he told me. So I said, all right, all right, chill out. Let me begin to really understand this. So in 2014, August, I basically started really deep diving, researching into Bitcoin. What is it? What's going on here? And I spent about 3 weeks just going crazy, just absorbing all the information I could on Bitcoin. When I get into a subject, I go crazy. I just dive in deep. And after about a month or so of studying Bitcoin, I said, wow, oh my God, how did I not really know about this thing? How did I not really investigate this before? Whoa, this is the future. This is the future of currency, of exchanging value. So I started to research and I said, wow, okay, Bitcoin, what is it? Let me give you a little brief overview of what it is without going into the technical understanding of it, which is another story. But essentially, Bitcoin was created in 2008. Somebody essentially came up with an idea to decentralize money. Now, the current monetary system is totally centralized, meaning that banks have to control the input and the output of said currency, as well as tertiary principles such as Visa, MasterCard, these sort of old legacy systems that control the credit system. So right now, we have to rely on the bank if we want to exchange money. Right now, if I want to send money to Argentina, if I want to send $2,000 to Argentina, which I do all the time for business transactions, I have to pay Bank of America obscene amount of money just to transact $2,000, and it's going to take up to a week or two, sometimes longer, which is insane. Because if you think about it, transferring money is just as simple as sending somebody an email. Let me say that again. Transferring money is just as simple as sending somebody an email. But since the banks control this input and output, this flow of money, they basically hold us for ransom and charge us an obscene amount of money for transferring funds. Nowadays, we have other options, thank God, that help to facilitate the transference of funds, such as PayPal. PayPal is not even that great to transfer funds internationally because they're going to hit you with a crazy fee, and that's not nice. So even a company like TransferWise, I would say the company TransferWise is doing a good job because they're actually transferring money. It takes a couple of days still, but they're using the real exchange rate. They're not using this bogus exchange rate that most banks use. So suffice it to say, it's very difficult right now to transfer funds to people. The banks have to get their cut. It's like the mafia. They got to get their piece, and they take the most that they could take. Bitcoin was created to basically circumvent the banking system. So now with Bitcoin, if you want to send $1 million to somebody, say you're in New York and you want to send $1 million to somebody in Africa, you could do that in a matter of minutes. It's near instantaneous. Let's call it 5 to 10 minutes, and you're going to be paying pennies to send that to somebody. Pennies, and I'm using that sort of in a way where, yes, you're not literally paying pennies, but compared to what you would pay a bank, you're probably paying about over 95% less than you would pay a bank. Dollars, as opposed to, hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars to send $1 million to someone. So Bitcoin was the first digital currency ever to be created that allowed anybody to circumvent, to go right around the banking system, to send anybody money. So Bitcoin is a digital store of value. You could literally use it to send people money. And now retailers even accept it. Big retailers. I'm talking like, I believe Best Buy, Compact, even Microsoft's on board. Large banks are even involved now with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is real money. It's as real as anything gets. Absolutely real. You could use it to purchase items, or you could use it to do what I do with it personally. I just use it to store value. I use it to essentially invest. I'm an investor in Bitcoin. So when I buy Bitcoin, I'm not using it to buy things per se. I'm using it as a digital asset. I'm taking United States dollars, purchasing Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, like the stock market, it's totally different than the stock market, but there are many similarities. In my opinion, it's the future of the stock market. I'm using it to store USD, converting United States dollars into Bitcoin, and I'm holding Bitcoin as an asset for myself. And that asset has been appreciating magnificently. I started buying Bitcoin in 2014. The first time I bought Bitcoin, it was at $588, I believe. But then I started to buy much more aggressively when it was around $188. Keep that in mind. I started to buy a lot at $188 in the to $200 range. And now Bitcoin is well over $2,000. So if I wanted to right now, I could go onto my phone and I could press sell. And if I sold all that Bitcoin, I could reap the thousands of dollars upon thousands of dollars I've made in profit. And I could convert that Bitcoin into United States dollars, USD, and put that in my bank account right now if I want to. So it's real. It's just as real as any other money out there. You're going to hear a lot of people after you begin to investigate Bitcoin, after you watch this video, you're going to hear a lot of people saying, oh, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. Now, no offense to the older generation, to the baby boomers. No offense to that generation. I love you guys. Those are my parents, the elderly folks. But I believe that most people who are talking negatively about Bitcoin are those people who just don't understand the technology, that just don't understand that money could survive online, that money could be digital. That's why you have a lot of younger people who are jumping onto this right now because they're saying they understand it because they grew up with the internet, they grew up with iPhones, they grew up with the digital landscape that the older generation was not exposed to. So you're going to have a lot of people in the baby boomer era who look at Bitcoin and they run away. They're scared because all they understand is physical money. All they understand is writing somebody a check. All they understand is mattress money under your mattress. That's all dead. That cannot survive. That mentality is over. Yes, right now, the banks control the flow of money. Right now, MasterCard and Visa control the flow of money, credit. But if you think about it, the reality is that most money right now that's out in circulation is simply just digital units. When you look at your bank account, all you're looking at are numbers. Do you really believe that there's a physical amount of cash to back up all the money that's on people's bank balances right now? Absolutely not. No way. So when you put that into perspective, you have to concede to the fact that money is just an idea. Money is just an idea. We're accumulating ideas. It's just energy. When people buy your products or you give somebody money for their products, you're just transferring energy. And these forms of energy are represented in numerical forms. So Bitcoin, what's going to happen in the future? Let me talk about some of my ideas in the future. You guys watching this on YouTube, feel free to ask questions. And below this video, there will be a link to the bank that I trust. It's not even a bank. It's a digital currency bank called Coinbase. If you decide to get involved with Bitcoin, please click the link below this video and sign up through Coinbase. And if you invest or purchase at least $100 worth of Bitcoin, you and I will both get $10 of Bitcoin as reward. So that's just a way to support this video, to support, me sharing this information with you. Hopefully you guys will get ahead of the curve and really learn about Bitcoin, and do yourself a favor. Get ahead of it now. Get ahead of it now. Research it now. Become an expert on this now. It's not difficult to understand. It's very simple to understand, really. And you will be doing yourself a huge favor, because in 10 years from now, you're going to be like, oh my God, why did I not begin to understand Bitcoin 10 years ago? Why did I not just put $100 into Bitcoin 10 years ago? Why did I not just listen to this guy, Dave Mate, and be inspired by what he's saying about digital currency, and do my own research, and then decide for yourself whether Bitcoin is the real deal or not? I personally believe it's unstoppable. Bitcoin is unstoppable. So the truth is, one of the real reasons why I like Bitcoin, not because it's a great investment, which I believe it's an amazing investment. Like I said, I'm already up a lot from when I started purchasing Bitcoin. But I really like it because Bitcoin's like a rebel. It's going against the grain. It's going against the monopolistic powers of the bank. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to talk disparagingly about banks. I'm a business owner. I rely on banks, and I'm very grateful for them. I'm very grateful for Bank of America and Chase and, JP Morgan. I'm very grateful for them for providing me a way to conduct business. I'm very thankful for that. But the reality is that the banking system as we know it today cannot survive. There's too much fraud. There's too much corruption. There's too much manipulation. And I'm also talking about the current day stock market too. Every single year, one of the major banks gets fined $800 million, $200 million, $100 million. And every time these banks get fined $100 million, honestly, $100 million is a small amount of money for a major bank. A small amount of money. It's like taking a prick of blood, one little drop of blood from them. So this is how it works with the banks, especially the ones that are doing the fraud. And most banks, like I said, do your own research, have been fined for fraudulent activity. All these banks that we trust have been fined for fraudulent activity. These guys come up with these schemes at some table and say, how can we defraud the American population? Okay. And then they calculate the risk of, if they had to pay a fine, what would the fine be in comparison to how much money they already made off with? So when they get fined this $100 million, $200 million, they already made $1 billion. They already made $900 million. They already made, $200 billion already, whatever it may be. So the fine is just calculated into their risk assessment. So when they pay the fine is nothing. People need to understand how money and the banks really work. It's all psychological. It's all just, okay, we give you this loan and we own you for 30 years. You're going to have to pay us, 10%, 8%, or even look at credit cards. You're paying 25%, interest, and you're stuck for the rest of your life. I hate to see people running up credit card debt. I hate to see people who don't understand money just buying things, conspicuous consumption, and then being a slave to the banks for the rest of their lives. This is what's happening. Over 60% of Americans only have $1,000 in their bank account. Let me say that again. Over 60% of Americans only have $1,000 in their bank account. We live in the most prosperous nation on earth, where 60% of our population only has $1,000 in their bank account. Yet you got these people driving around Mercedes. You got, everybody with an iPhone, but yet most of the country, I hate to say it, doesn't have money. Most of the country does not have money, not liquid capital, not liquid assets. So we live in a country where you could have an iPhone and you could have a Mercedes, but still be poor, in terms of money. You could be wealthy with happiness, wealthy with love, wealthy with friendship and camaraderie. That's great. That's the true definition of wealth: happiness and health and harmony, prosperity. That's the true definition of wealth. But when it comes to money, I'm talking cash, assets. Most of the country is poor. I hate to say it. Most of the country is poor. That's just how brilliant America is, where you could be poor and then you could come off as rich. you could be poor but come off as rich in this country. You can't really do that in other countries, but in this country, you could be poor, but people may think you're rich because you have a Mercedes, which is basically sucking all the capital out of your entire flow of money. So that was a little bit of a tangent, I know, but essentially, let's recap. Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the first digital currency. It totally allows you to circumvent the banking system. You could start to buy it by transferring some of your USD, United States dollars, and buy Bitcoin. Bitcoin works in two principal manners. It works as a storage of value. You're basically storing value inside Bitcoin. You took $100 USD and put it into Bitcoin. You're storing that there. Bitcoin also has similarities with the stock market. It can appreciate and depreciate based upon supply and demand, based upon, in some ways, like the stock market, somebody could come in and begin to buy a lot of Bitcoin and then get the price up and then sell it off quickly. Yes, there is room for some levels of manipulation in terms of pricing. But the great thing about Bitcoin is that unlike the banks and unlike Visa, MasterCard, everybody that's involved in Bitcoin, anyone that owns Bitcoin, is essentially the security system of Bitcoin. So you got these people around the world, right, who basically dedicate some of their computer processing power to protect the Bitcoin security. So you may ask, well, since it's digital, where's the security? Where's the centralized force that watches Bitcoin? That's the brilliance of Bitcoin. Everybody's computer that's running this program to move Bitcoin around is protecting it. It's protecting the integrity of the network. So if one person out of the hundreds of millions of people that are transacting the Bitcoin, if one person tries to create some sort of fraudulent transfer of money, the entire network acts like a mirror and shuts that down. It's the best security that you could ever have. Now, is it perfect? No, nothing's perfect. Has it been hacked like banks have been hacked? Yes. But if you compare it side to side in terms of security compared to a bank, Bitcoin is so much more secure. Your money is so much more secure on a Bitcoin blockchain. Now, the other major aspect of Bitcoin, as I just mentioned, is the blockchain. And this is what I'm really, really interested in too. The blockchain is the digital ledger. Just like how banks have ledgers of debits and credits. Well, in the world of cryptocurrency, there's something called the blockchain. The blockchain is a digital ledger. Every single transaction that ever takes place, that anybody exchanges Bitcoin, whenever there's a credit and the debit of Bitcoin in exchange, it's recorded on this digital ledger that anybody could see. Anybody could see it. That way, therein lies the inherent protection of Bitcoin, because every single computer that's monitoring Bitcoin, these people called miners, anybody could be a miner, where you dedicate some of your computer resources to help create the transactions. Every single one of those computers acts as a security system that looks over the blockchain network. And as your money begins to exchange from one person to another, everything is validated. It's like a lock and a key. It has to connect. If it doesn't connect, that is shut down, and that's it. The threat is neutralized. So really, there's an underlying technology here called the blockchain technology. And this is truly the most magnificent aspect of Bitcoin. Yes, Bitcoin's a money. It's money. It's also a store of value, but it's also could be referred to as a technology, in particular, the blockchain. Now, the blockchain, okay, doesn't necessarily need to be used to exchange money. It could be used to exchange ideas. It could be used to validate contracts. It could be used for people to set up some sort of system where, say, for instance, you're driving home and you need to park your car somewhere because, I don't know, it broke down. You need to get it off the road. Well, the blockchain could say, okay, your car is now going to be parked in this parking lot, and we're going to charge you X amount of dollars automatically just for parking here. The blockchain could be used for those sort of contracts, what we call smart contracts, that allows people to validate things. That's another video. I don't want to go too much into that, but suffice it to say, the technology behind Bitcoin is the real investment. Blockchain. The blockchain is going to change everything. Everything is going to be changed, from the way that we handle logistics, sending packages to people, from the way that we assess people's grades in college. For everything is all going to be controlled by this technology called the blockchain. Okay, I implore you to look more into blockchain. Okay, that's the future. Bitcoin is being transferred on top of this blockchain to secure it. So guys, I know this video was a little heady, a little all over the place. That's just my enthusiasm for this. I implore you just to begin researching Bitcoin. That's all I could say. Begin researching Bitcoin. Just watch videos on YouTube. All the information's out there. Okay, it's already out there. Just watch videos. Watch 1 or 2 videos a day for the next couple weeks. Okay, learn about Bitcoin. Learn about blockchain. You don't need to be a certain age to learn about this. You're not too old. You're not too young. Just, have faith in what I'm saying, just for you to go learn more about it and then make up your decision. Okay. And again, if you want to begin investing in Bitcoin or purchase your first $100 worth of Bitcoin, click the link below this video. Full disclosure, that link is an affiliate link, which means that if you click the link below the video and you sign up to Coinbase.com, which is the company that I personally trust to store my Bitcoin, if you purchase at least $100 worth of Bitcoin, where you could just store it there as an investment, you will make $10 worth of Bitcoin, and I will make $10 worth of Bitcoin. We both win. So let me see if you guys asked any questions. Let me go check out the YouTube page. And if you guys asked any questions, I will try to answer them right now. Delicious yerba mate. All right. Banks are corrupt. Da, 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 da. What mate am I drinking? I'm drinking roasted chocolate yerba mate. So no real question, just some really cool comments from people. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. So, guys, I made a video about Bitcoin about 3 or 4 years ago, and I've still been continuing to study it. And I said, you know what? I got to tell my people about this. I got to tell my customers and my fans and just random people watching this video. I got to at least tell you about it. Okay? Because I truly believe in it personally. I believe in the entire digital currency sphere moving forward into the future. Bitcoin just is the most popular one. There's a lot of different coins out there. Ethereum, Litecoin. Bitcoin's the one I would say focus on for now. I just had to get it out there. I had to share it with you guys. Otherwise, I would have felt remiss by not sharing it with you guys. Do your research, guys. Learn about Bitcoin. Learn about digital currency. The monetary system is changing. It's changing. And if you don't get ahead of this and you don't begin to understand it, history is going to repeat itself. People are not going to understand how money is moving around in the future unless they begin to study Bitcoin now. If you don't begin to study Bitcoin now, in 5 to 10 years, when there's so much going on around Bitcoin and it's totally just, common knowledge for people in terms of spending it, there will be very few amounts of people who really understand how it works. So if you invest the time now to understand how Bitcoin works, even just the basics, even by just investing $100 into Bitcoin, okay, take the risk, do it now, and in 10 years from now, you will be way ahead of the curve, way ahead of the game. Because I hate to say it, most people are not going to investigate Bitcoin. Most people are not going to begin understanding it. Most people are scared of it right now. They don't know what's going on with it. Step ahead of the pack, step outside of the line, be different, research things, study things, look into Bitcoin, look into digital currency, click on the link below, or click on the link below right now anyway, and just sign up. You don't have to even invest yet, just so you have your account ready, your Coinbase.com account ready, and then you'll be ready to go once you feel comfortable enough. All right, guys. Dave Mate, circleofdrink.com, drinking delicious yerba mate. What can I say, guys? I love Bitcoin. I love digital currency. I love yerba mate. Have a great weekend. If you have any questions, comment below. I'll try to get back to you. Salud. Peace.